WCTC. Call Jersey Central at 732-545-9282. Toll free at 888-545-9282. Watch Jersey Central live online at WCTCAM.com or listen on your smartphone with the iHeartRadio or TuneIn apps. Connect with WCTC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube by searching 1450 WCTC. And now back to Jersey's Morning Show, Jersey Central with Bert Barron.
It's 6:37. We're back on Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. A little bit of the music there for you from the Smithereens. We got word overnight of the passing of the founding member and longtime frontman of the band, Pat DiNizio, who from Central New Jersey is dead this morning at the age of 62. And I want to welcome in, joining me this morning on the Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline, just to kind of talk a little bit about what Pat and his band meant to the music and rock scene here in New Jersey. You know him, of course, as a longtime entertainment reporter, and you can find his work nowadays online at njarts.net. I want to say good morning to Jay Lustig, who is calling in. Good morning, Jay. It's Bert Barron. Thanks for the time.
Hey, Bert. How are you?
I'm good. It was good to see someone else posting about this at 3 a.m., and I said, okay, Jay is awake. Maybe he'll come on and talk about it this morning. But you've been covering Pat and his music and his band for decades, Jay. Talk about what he meant to the music scene here in Jersey.
Sure. I mean, the Smithereens had, a few years, where they were actually, having national pop hits in the top 40 and were on MTV and so on in the late 80s and early 90s. And then they, that national kind of, they became more of a just a hard-working band. Kept playing, kept touring, kept recording, never went away. Pat also did a number of solo projects over the years, and could be found, that was always doing something, always playing someplace. He used to play every Wednesday night or most Wednesday nights at Crossroads in Garwood, just a solo thing, or actually, him and other musicians, not the Smithereens, but a number of other musicians would come and play with him, and so I mean, he's just been part of the New Jersey music scene for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, one of these bands, Jay, that went on to have some national success, and I kind of opened this segment with one of their big hits, that MTV really kind of embraced as well. But I think what was really the charming thing to me about Smithereens is, they were always Jerseys. They could go on and have all the success in the world no matter what. But when they came back home, they would sell out the theaters, they'd sell out the clubs because, this was one of our bands. These were some guys from Jersey that worked hard and believed in themselves. And it's not often that I crank music at 4:30 in the morning on my way to the radio station, but I just couldn't help myself but to break out and dust off, a Smithereens' greatest hits CD and just relive some of the great music over and over again. And I think it's going to be one of these things that people will now, again, just rediscover and really find out just what a great band the Smithereens and what a great writer Pat DiNizio really was. Just some heartfelt and very honest lyrics that what I think is what a signature of the sound of the Smithereens. And I think it's going to be a brand new level of appreciation following this.
Yeah, I hope so. And, I assume there'll probably be tribute concerts and things like that. And if I had to recommend one album to people, I'd recommend the Especially For You album, which was their first album back in 1986, and really just a album I think that really holds up. I mean, every song is really good, and they had such a distinctive sound. Their combination of they use kind of a very kind of dark sound, but with catchy melodies. I mean, it was something that actually influenced Nirvana. The combination of the heaviness, but the melodic sensibility with it too. The Kurt Cobain in his diaries writes about listening to the Smithereens in the band's van as they were going from show to show, and so I mean they were a band that really had an influence as well as having hits and popularity, and they were on a number of soundtracks too that really helped kind of get their music out in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and I think they're one of these bands that sort of followed the formula of, being the best band that no one's ever heard of, and really kind of appealing, to the college crowd and playing the university campuses, and, much like an REM or a Del Fuegos when they started to really kind of generate some momentum, and then everybody kind of discovered this band and found out just how great they really were. But you look at the writing, and I was just listening to some of the lyrics that Pat wrote for the years over the Smithereens, and just it's a perfect mix of entertainment and intellect is what I think you got from Pat's writing. And when he ran for governor some years ago, Jay, I took it very seriously, and there were a lot of people that I don't know. Maybe if you look back now, maybe they should have given him a second thought or something, but he was really serious about just, getting active. He was an activist and just wanted to help people and was really kind of there to just sort of do the right thing by people. And that's another thing that I'll always remember about Pat, just always the nicest and most approachable guy you'd ever meet in the world.
Yeah, I think he ran for Senate, not governor.
It was Senate, you're right.
Yeah, but, he was definitely one of those people, especially when I was writing for the Star-Ledger, I remember, it seemed like every so often I'd get a call from him, and he was like, I'm working on this new project, and, one year was, he wanted to play minor league baseball, and they ended up doing a documentary on ESPN about him, and, one year was the Senate thing, and one year, he started this business where he was, he'd write songs for you'd pay him $100 or whatever it was, and he'd write a song for you about something you wanted to have a song about. So he was always doing something. He was always and then he did his one man Confessions of a Rock Star show where he told stories about his life and played music. And did a Las Vegas residency and
wow.
played every night in Las Vegas. This show. So, I mean, he was always doing something. He's always trying to find a way to do something different, something new. They did the Smithereens, the tribute albums to the Beatles and the Who, and he did a tribute album on his own to Buddy Holly. And
that's right.
So, I mean, he was always he always had an idea. His most recent idea, and it never happened, but he was trying to raise money to convert his old family house in Scotch Plains into like a cultural center. And he started a GoFundMe campaign, and this is very recently. And
yeah.
I think he kind of, the idea kind of petered out. Not enough people donated money, and it never really got off the ground. But I mean, he was always trying to do something,
Yeah, yep. Were there health concerns for Pat, as far as you know, Jay? I know he had put on a lot of pounds later on in life, and there were stories about him suffering a fall at home, and he was unable to use his right arm, apparently, for a period. There was truth in that, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the last couple of years, I think he couldn't play guitar. He had a problem with his hand or arm, and I don't really know the exact nature of his health problems, but I know he did have some fairly serious health things over the last few years. So, and honestly, I'm not sure whether that had anything to do with he died. They haven't released a cause of death yet, so I'm not sure of the exact circumstances, but he had been fighting some health stuff, but would still go out and play and was kind of trying to soldier on through it all.
Yeah, a guy who left us way too early and certainly made his mark in Jersey, that's for sure. And you can read Jay's entire write-up on the passing of Pat DiNizio, just visit his website at njarts.net, and it's splashed right on the front page there. And I think you sum it up perfectly, Jay, when you say Pat DiNizio, giant of New Jersey rock scene, is that's as perfect as it gets for Pat DiNizio. So thank you so much for your time and your contribution this morning, Jay, and hopefully we could talk again soon about something a little happier, okay?
Sure. Okay. Well, thanks for having me.
You bet. Anytime. Thank you. All right. Jay Lustig from njarts.net as we remember Jersey rocker Pat DiNizio this morning on WCTC.